webinar I personally will be doing that
We are
in
recording already.
okay, that's fine. That involves business analysis. Uh I know a lot about business analysis, but this is the first time I'll be here transferring that knowledge. Most of the time, I've always been doing more of a data training, data knowledge sharing, and so on and so forth. But this time, you mean I am what's it called? Um, I'm doing a proper training that involves business analysis. So my name is Victor. By the day, I work as a consultant, and sometimes I'm a data analyst, sometimes I'm a business analyst, and sometimes I'm a project manager, depending on what the project we are working on is. Let me see the next slide. Oop. So I work for Exovert. Exovert is actually the company name, and we are an IT consulting company. We do more of IT consulting, which is if you have a business problem and you call us, we help you solve it. Once in a blue moon, let's say 3 or 4 times a year, or sometimes depends, we do training. Though we run what's it called? Business training, like if your company requires to upskill their staffs and they bring us in, we can do that regardless of the time of the year. But outside that, we do training once in a blue moon, just because we have other things going on in our lives. And at the same time, we try as much as possible to make sure that any group of people we are training, they are getting the best of everything we can offer at the same time. It's not like it's not we don't do recorded training. We take you hands-on and you understand, you go through the step one after the other until the end, and we follow people all the way through to interviews. Our training class is not your regular training class that goes like 100 people in a class. I think we do like 15 people, 20 people at a time, just because of the fact that we are much more interested in quality as opposed to quantity. So I just need to put that background there. So we are more of a consulting company as opposed to a training. Now, the sponsor of today's webinar that made it free is PyCharge. If you're living in the UK, you're living in Nigeria, wherever you are, PyCharge is a charging cable brand, and we give you a military grade cable and with 13 months warranty, meaning that if anything happens to your cable, you don't have to say anything. Just tell them the cable is not working. They have a procedure, you follow it, and you get the replacement for your cable. It's yeah, so the website is piecharge.com if you're in the UK and piecharge.ng if you're in Nigeria. We also have the possibility of delivering to the US and Canada too if you are from any of those regions. What else am I missing? I think I've done all the housekeeping rules. Okay, so the last one. Our next data analytics training is happening on the 24th, which is this coming Saturday, and it will run for 8 weeks. Um, it's £550 for anybody that is interested. What's it called? You can pay in installment, I think 3 installments. And if you would like to join, the website is exovert.com/training. Um, the space we have is very limited, so we are only taking a few people just because of the fact that we want to be able to give people a proper, what's it called, hands-on training. The demand for data analyst is becoming huge. Even if you're a data and if you're a project manager, business analyst, or whatsoever you're doing before now, the need for you to have data knowledge is increasing by the day. So you have not so much option yet. And see, we've been saying this quote that AI won't take your job. It's people who learn AI that will take it. That will take it. So when they say AI, the backbone of AI is actually data, and learning how to do data analysis is actually one of the first steps to to get your foot at the door. What else did I miss here? Nothing. Did I? So a quick survey. Please, this survey, you can put it in the chat and just let me know what you are. Are you a BA? Are you a data analyst? Are you other? I mean, those are, you others, you can actually just state what you do or your area of expertise. I'm happy to read them. I will just be reading through them. I want to see the kind of distribution of people we have in the house, please. So feel free to type in the chat if you can. Where's my? I want to see where the messages are. Uh, what is Zoom doing to me tonight? Zoom, Zoom, Zoom. Okay, please type. So I can see data analysts. I can see all kinds of people coming in to say they are okay. Data analyst, finance platforms. Okay, they are other online instructor. Okay, data. Thank you. So we have a lot of data analysts here. So somebody is a BA. Hmm, it's actually interesting that we have very few BAs here, and we have a lot of data analysts here, and people who are interested in data analytics. We have more orders. I've only seen two or three BAs, unfortunately. Or are there other BAs in the house who are not speaking? Or if you're a potential BA, if you're learning to become a, or if you're planning to become a BA or learning to become a BA, please say you are a BA. So that way I can have a proper distribution. Or another thing I can do is also take this survey later. The reason why I'm taking this survey right now is basically because of the fact that I want to understand the distribution so that I can know how to address people um, very well. Because the way I prepared the slide is actually to I'll be talking more high level BA, very high level BA. So if you are not a BA, I may have to kind of break things down a little bit further. If we have a lot of BAs, I don't have to break a lot of things down. So that's the reason why I really, really need that. But anyways, we'll continue. Thank you for participating. I will take the survey again if you can fill it. If you can let us know. Probably maybe we will have a survey link, Pope, if that is possible, and people can just, click it and just respond, and we can look at it as we go. Let me see. So,
Noted.
who is a business analyst? I decided to go on ChatGPT because honestly speaking, if you have 1,000,001 people today, 1,000,001 people who are business analysts, many of them will have a conflicting or not conflicting, but there are different people that will tell you different definitions of what they think a BA is. Uh, and definitely, yes, a BA is somebody who serves as a bridge between the business needs and the technology solution. In many cases, I took this off ChatGPT. In many cases, it goes beyond you just being a bridge, but you are actually the go-to guy. You are the voice of the customer. You are the one that is communicating with the stakeholders and saying, this is it and that is that. You are the guy that is running around. You have to be able to relate with everybody because you are just running around within the office, negotiating, reviewing processes and so on and so forth, just to make sure that everything works according to plan. Let me just put it that way. But yes, for at the very high level or the basic level, you are like the bridge. Um, my understanding of the BA job is that you're either doing process re-engineering or you're participating in some form of software development, which if you look at it very well, they are all very similar. So so um the primary role of a BA is actually to identify and analyze business problems or opportunities. Uh which is what I've said in a couple of minutes ago or back, which is, I mean, you do requirement gathering, you talk to different stakeholders within the organization and propose effective solutions to it. I've got one or two examples as we go. So, that I'm going to kind of put forward I mean, as case studies as we go, which actually shows the role of a data BA. Yeah, so let's keep it moving. Don't mind me, I had a little bit of distraction here. Who is a data analyst? A data analyst is actually somebody who collects data, processes it, identify trends, and or let me even say it in layman time. A data analyst collects data and turn it into charts. That's the simple way of saying it. And when they turn it into charts for you, in many cases, they are the one that interprets it. And in some other cases, it's somebody else that sees the data, that sees the visualization and interprets it, and they use it for whatever business purposes it is. But 9 out of 10 times, data is involved and somebody is using it to make business decision. That's it. Data business analyst is actually the intersection between a BA and a DA, a data analyst, meaning that let me put it this way. My year of experience working in the data space, I have seen a lot of business analysis process involved in doing the data work. At the same time, as a BA, if you want to be if you want to be able to compete in the world of today, you need data skills for you to be able to compete. I hope that makes sense to somebody. Um, it's very obvious that if you go out there and check roles these days, they are not just looking for a project manager anymore. They are looking for a data project manager. They are not just looking for a BA anymore, a business analyst anymore. They are looking for a business data analyst or a data business analyst, depending on how they word the description. But one thing is that data is eating into everything we are doing every day, meaning that you are going to need data at every stage of whatsoever process you are going through in the end-to-end life cycle of whatsoever you are building. I hope that makes sense. So, as we said, AI is not going to take your job. Only those who learn to use it will take it. Probably we should actually modify this say to say AI is not going to take your job. Only those who learn to use data will take your job because AI whatsoever is called AI today, there is something behind it called data. And the people who are playing with data are the people that are actually taking over 9 out of 10 jobs these days. A lot of roles will be automated. A lot of people will be out of job. And if you're in the UK, you can see the market trend recently. In the last 1 or 2 years, the things have been going very quiet. The set of people they are retaining at work are people who have data skills. Companies are even people with permanent roles are going redundant, but the technical guys will stay a bit longer than the management guys. The only management guy that will not leave is the management guy that is having a bit of a technical skills added to their portfolio. So if you are, and that's the essence of this kind of conversation tonight. So data will revolutionize everything. That's the say, but data will not just change it. People will still be involved in the entire process, and for people to be involved in the process, that means uh for people to be involved in the process, that means it's people who understand how to use data. Am I making sense to somebody? Can you all see my
Yeah.
screen?
Yes, you are.
All right. Now we have 31 people. If you're new into the what's it called into the conversation, please, I need you to help me answer one simple question. I'm trying to switch my slide into something else. So for me to do that, I think I will have to stop sharing. Just to, can you see my screen?
Yes, we
Yes, we can.
Okay, I'm trying to be sure of which screen I'm sharing now. Okay, I'm trying
we
to hand
list.
out. Okay, sorry, let me stop sharing for a second. So I need to do some adjustment. Okay, which one is this? Close. Don't save. Okay, just a moment, guys. So if you're new, I just want you to help us identify yourself if you're a data analyst, a business analyst, or others. So meaning that if you're a data analyst, say you are a DA. If you're a business analyst, say you are a BA. If you're hoarders, you can say hoarders and tell us what exactly you do precisely, if you don't mind. So I'm resharing my screen now, and let's see where this is taking us to. It's in screen share. Can you all see my screen now? Is my
Yes.
screen okay? So my screen is getting shared. I'll just move very fast to where we were before. Okay. So this is where I was. All right. I'm trying to read the messages of those who said, people who just joined us. Somebody said orders, none. Okay. Those who said none, please, are you a potential BA or you are like when I mean a potential BA, I mean somebody who's trying to become a BA or you are about to learn or you're just curious. I'm just I'm interested in knowing what the kind of distribution is like. All right. So, as I have said, you will see examples of job descriptions like this, where they said they want the business data analyst. And they said this one is in property or real estate, banking or migration or whatever it is. And you see them listing a business analyst, blah, 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 real estate. And you see all kinds of data tools that they are listing. If you pick a sample of BAs that are out there, many of them are not very strong on data analysis, what's it called? Skills. You can see that if you go down a little bit, can you see my mouse? I don't know if you can. Towards the
Yeah, we
lower
can.
okay, towards the lower part of the slide, you see that the first thing they listed was data analysis, and they listed all the tools they wanted. Then they said business analysis, documentation, and so there will be roles where you see them prioritizing BA, and you see roles where they are prioritizing the data analyst side of things. So it goes both ways, regardless of whatever it is. You will see you are either working on a role that is um you are either working as a business analyst on a data project, or you are working as a business analyst on a project that involves a lot of data, or that you need data to make decisions. Let me use that word. Let me repeat it. It's either you are working as a data analyst on, let's say, a data migration thing, like a end-to-end data project, or you are working as a business analyst whereby you need data to make decisions in the entire process. Business analysts today do collect data. When you are interviewing people to know your Aziz, your to be, what you're doing there is you are collecting data. You are just collecting a kind of data that is called qualitative qualitative data. When you're dealing with numbers, then you can say you are doing quantitative stuff. But one thing is there is no way, so you can know when I'll get to that. I'll get to that. Let me hold it. But one thing I just want to say is that many a times when you are working as a business analyst and you are trying to understand the process, a business analyst is somebody that comes. So let me use this example. Asda is not having too much sales anymore. Or let's say they realize that there are so many queues at the cashier, and they want people to be able to do their shopping smoothly and go out. You see that self-checkout thing that they introduced into Asda, they did not just come to that conclusion based on random stuff. They use data to make that decision. When customer comes in, they remapped that entire process of sale of shopping, which is coming into the shop, customer looking for whatever they are trying to buy. If they cannot find it, they look for what's it called? If they cannot find what they are looking for, they ask a storekeeper to say, hey, please, where is the Maggie cube, or where are the Maggie cubes? The guy directs them to aisle 17. They go there, they pick whatever they want to pick, and they come to the cashier. And they realize that customers are complaining about the long checkout queues, and that's the kind of data they've collected. They just know that that's the problem. But what is the why? The why is we have 10 cashiers serving 700 customers, and each cashier spends 30 minutes to deal with two customers. Therefore, what can we do to improve this entire process? I've just given you a quick summary of process reengineering, and that way they can now start looking for solution. But see, that process of coming to that conclusion to say this is what we be the better thing to do as a business analyst, it will be strictly informed by the kind of data you have available. If you make that, and that's why one big problem that business analysts tend to face is what they call solutioneering. You are the BA, and you just looked at it and said, how's that? They are dealing with customers are at the queue. They should just hire more cashiers. That's you giving them solutions without actually looking at the problem. So business analysts are always caught in the act of solutioneering when they are not doing their job very well. So as business analysts, your job is to heavily depend on the data. What are the customers saying? What does the numbers look like for you to be able to make an informed decision or informed recommendation for the company you are working for? And if you're making your recommendation based on data, your level of confidence will be higher than somebody that is just picking up something out of their head, because you have enough numbers to back up everything you're saying. Let's continue. I took this screenshot for to show you an example of how data is creeping its way into everything. And this is a project manager role. And they said they want a data project manager. Do you understand? It's either it's a data project, or they will have to make a lot of decisions based on data. So, and that's what every organization, I mean, that's where everything is kind of moving towards right now. So if you're a business analyst here, I would recommend to you to get data skills so that when you are making decisions or giving recommendations to them at work, it will be data oriented as opposed to you just talking out of just talking from your mind. I hope that makes sense to somebody. So I've said this: you're either working as a business analyst on a data project, or you are using data to make decisions for BA on in your BA process. Just a moment, please. I'm just taking a water break. So, so the core concept of data BA is actually what's it called? Your regular standard BA stuff, and your regular standard BA stuff, and course data skills, and matching it up with some business strategy stuff. I don't know how to. I would try to get to a stage where I think I will break down a bit of what BAs do for people who are new to business analysis themselves. But as a bit of background, since most people here are not BAs, as a bit of background, a BA person sits between the business team and the technology team in many cases, helping the business team understand the technology jargons and helping the business the technical team understand the business jargons. I hope that makes sense. But not every BA project requires technical stuff. If you are doing a process reengineering, just like those of you that are living in England, you know that right now the wait time at the emergency, whatever, is very long. For them to be able to fix that thing, they will need to hire a BA to review the entire end-to-end process of what will patients do when they come to this NHS board. Where will they go to? And when they get there, who are they talking to? How many minutes do we need for a consultant to look at somebody who is having an accident or whatever? Do we need, at the end of everything, the business analyst will be able to make recommendations to say, I think you need to hire more doctors. I think you need to hire more nurses. I think we just need more bed spaces, or maybe these are processes. I don't know if all of us here are Nigerians, but I have seen a very popular. I've seen something very similar when you go to Nigeria. I'm not shading Nigeria here. When you get to Nigeria, the last time I was there, you get there, you meet an immigration guy. I'm just trying to explain what process looks like to those who don't understand what BA does. So you get there, you see an immigration officer, they take your passport, they look at it, they give it back to you. Then you go back to the next queue, and the guy, you when you get to the immigration officer, he takes the passport, writes something down from your passport, gives your passport back to you. Then you go and queue on the third queue. Then the guy takes your passport, stamps it, and say you're welcome, and you keep going. That is three different queues for a single process that one person can just sit down, collect your passport, take note of what they need to take, stamp the passport, give it back to you, and you are on your way. Less than 30 seconds or 1 minute. And that if they are hiring somebody to fix that problem, it will be the what? The BA to do the analysis of the entire process and give them recommendation on things they need to do. Now, before you make recommendations as BA, you don't just want to be you just don't want it to be based on, well, one person told me. There are so many problems that are attached to people telling you what they think is the problem and what exactly the problem is. People can tell you, I think I am having a headache, but the actual problem is that they've not been sleeping all night. So if you collect data to validate the fact that this person is having a headache, they tell you what is wrong with them, but with data, you'll be able to tell the company, this is why we are having this problem. And you knowing the why is what makes you a better business analyst. So many business analysts today can tell you what is wrong, but they cannot tell you why it is wrong. The why it is wrong is what you will be able to do with data. And that is why you need data skills to be able to be a successful business analyst. And that is why more roles are coming out these days as data business analyst or business data analyst, whichever way it is. I hope that makes sense to somebody. All right. Whatever you're doing as a BA, it has to align with the strategy, the business, it has to align with the business goal of the goal of the organization, what the business is trying to achieve. And when you are dealing or collecting data at work, you'll be dealing with all kinds of data. So your understanding of data analysis will help you to be able to filter out and pick the right data that is needed at each stage of your end-to-end business analysis process. I'm not teaching business analysis here, but I'm trying to lay a bit of foundation because I realize that we don't have much business analyst here. So the distribution is very whatever. So if there is any BA here that's getting pissed off by my looping repeated explanation of what a BA does, please don't be angry with me. It's just the distribution of people. As I'm talking to you, I am collecting a lot of data, and I realize that we don't have a lot of BAs here. This is not a BA training. It is just a webinar to give you an understanding of where data plays a key role in the business analysis process. I hope that makes sense. Let's go to the next slide. So I think I've said everything about this one. Yeah, without data skills, business would make wrong decisions. And they will probably, if they hire you as a BA and they're paying you £500 a day, and you make recommendations for them, and after 1 year, they've realized they've wasted money because you only help them fix what they think is the problem, but you did not take the why away. You probably will not be considered a better BA over time. And that's the problem businesses are seeing right now. So I'm back to this very, what's it called? Advertisement. If anybody is trying to learn business data analytics, you can learn it by yourself. You can go on YouTube. You can go on Udemy. You can learn. If you can do self-learning, you can learn. You can become a data analyst by yourself. And I will say that point blank. Everybody that comes to our training, we always tell them, you can become a data analyst by yourself. You don't need to come to any training. The only reason why you need to come to training is if you struggle to do self-learning and you want to do hand-holding. We will help you through the hand-holding process, and that's it. We are having a class that is starting on Saturday, the 24th of August. It will run for 8 weeks every Saturday in the evening. I think it runs for 2 hours. And you can learn to become a data analyst. We go from zero and we take you all the way up to the stage where you'll be extremely confident and you can get jobs as a data analyst. The payment here is displayed on the screen. It's £550 and you can pay in 3 installments. So it's very easy. We make it very easy for people to join and, that way it is. So as I've said before, you need data skills for you to be able to retain your job as things are going. Let's move on. So, in most cases, data analysts would collect data. They collect data. They are, they collect data from wherever it is. Or let's say the first stage is actually identify what data I need to collect, just like a BA. If you are helping ASDA to improve their what's it called, their shopping experience or their shopping process, who will you collect data from? You will talk to the customers. You will talk to the staffs. When you are doing your your process analysis, you ask the staff. So can you tell me what customers go through when they need to shop here? Then they say, when the customer comes around, they are looking for something, they go to the aisle, and if they cannot find it, they talk to me, a shopkeeper, and when they leave me, then they go to the cashier and they check out. And you can go ahead and start asking, okay, what do you think is the problem? Well, we realize a lot of customers are standing a lot in the queue and the queue is just getting too long, blah, 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 and so on. That is the what. That's what the problem is. If you ask the customer, yes, I came to the shop yesterday. I spent 3 hours all because I want to buy toilet roll, blah, 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 blah. That is the what. Now, how will you know the why? Well, why is, can I have your sales data? Do you collect data at the door where you count the number of people that comes into the shop? Do you have data about the average number of time it takes a customer to conclude shopping? Do you have data about how much sales is made by the shop on so and so date? Do you have data about how long it takes a cashier to finish attending to a customer? So by the time you collect all those data, you do process analysis and etc. You are collecting data in the entire life cycle. Enterprise analysis, okay, what kind of resources do we have available? Do we have computers? Do we have self-checkout machines? Do we have, you collect all those data. Then you start looking at the data and start saying, okay, the to-be processes, a customer comes to the store based on the data we have. The data we have says an average cashier will spend 10 minutes attending to a customer. But if we introduce self-checkout will reduce the time a customer spends to check out from 10 minutes to 2 minutes. And that's data. So when you are making that recommendation, your recommendation is fully data-driven. And you can now go ahead and do your data analysis. When you're doing your testing stage, you also need to continue to collect data because you don't want to recommend the solution because when you're doing software development too, you need to continue to collect data so that you are improving whatsoever you're building for the customer because you want to create something that fits the problem. There's something in business analysis they call traceability. You want to be able to make sure that the solution that you are providing is actually solving the problem that you identified. The moment the solution is not solving the problem, then you have a problem. So you need to continue to test to validate things. And I have inserted this image to remind us, those of us who have a little bit of idea of what DevOps is all about. It's called CI/CD, and to be honest, it's applicable almost into everything. When you're doing software development, you write a code, you build it, you test it. When you release it, or let's say deploy it, when customers are using it, you continuously collect data and you start measuring, okay, where is the problem coming from? Okay, how can we improve this thing? And you keep repeating that entire process. Now, that's the reason why when you're using WhatsApp, you realize that almost every week or almost every 2 weeks, WhatsApp is releasing updates. Those updates are not based on them just sitting down and say, oh, what's the new feature we think we should add into this? No, they are collecting data every single day, every minute to see how they can improve it. Okay, what are people struggling with? And that's it. We have a couple of 15 minutes to do case studies. So case study one, a rapidly growing e-commerce company called ShopEase. They have all kinds of what's it called? Product, but they have a problem. The problem they have is despite the high growing number of people that are coming into the website on the website, they realize that a lot of people are not checking out, meaning that a lot of people are probably adding stuff to cart and they are not checking out. You're hired as a BA. Even in some job descriptions these days, they will just call it a BA role, but you realize how much emphasis they've placed on data on it. So they will be looking for people who actually knows how to use data. So you, as a data BA, they will give you access to the Google Analytics data of the website that shows how many customers came on the website, the bounce rate. Bounce rate means a bounce rate is the rate at which people come on the website and leave. So bounce rate, if the bounce rate is very high, meaning that people come on the website, but they spend probably less than 1 minute or short, the shorter the amount of time people spend on it, the higher the bounce rate. So, and they realize that people are just coming on the website and they're just, pump. Or, okay, the website, people got on the check-in page, and when they got on the check-in page, when they got on the website, they picked their product, they added it to cart, but they're not checking out. What exactly is the problem? Your job as a business data analyst, in some cases, you have a data analyst that you can talk to say, please, can you do this for me? But in so many cases, you have to take data into your hands as a BA these days. People are looking for people who will be able to do both, or that will be able to question things or have a bit of understanding of what exactly is going on. So as a data business analyst, you will be able to look at the Google Analytics data and say, from what I can see here, we realize people are not really checking out here. Can we get more data? You can use some user tracking tools to collect further data, and you can realize that the checkout button is not working. And that can be your recommendation as a business analyst. But for you to be able to visualize, for you to be able to figure that out, you need to be able to collect data and visualize it, as opposed to the traditional way of, I'm just talking to this person, I'm just talking to that person. And what are the key tools you will use? It could be this data will be given to you in spreadsheet. Sometimes they can even tell you to just work on the actual platform in itself to do your data analysis for you to be able to come to conclusion and make such a decision. What else? And when you've recommended when you're done recommending solutions and that solution becomes developed, continuous data will still be collected for you to be able to figure out that, okay, is the problem solved? Okay, what's the bounce? How well is the bounce rate reducing? And over time, you'll be able to say confidently to say, okay, based on this solution, we've been able to reduce the bounce rate from 100 to 50, something like that. And you just keep improving. And that's what is going to keep you up, because the person that solves the problem for them at work is what solve the business problem is what the business really likes. So you will always be called, you will always be needed all the time, because definitely all just because of the fact that you know how to do data analysis as a business analyst. The case study 2 is actually something that I personally worked on. So I am going to say this in a bit further. So there's a regulator who, I don't know how many of us do. If you're living in the US, you do tax return, right? In the UK, most of the time it's done for you automatically, and and they will send you a letter if you are owing taxes or if they are giving you a refund. But imagine that there is a regulator that requires everybody under them that they are regulating to submit certain forms every year. And many of these people are complaining that the form is too complicated. We need to go and start hiring lawyers to help us to fill this form. Filling this form last year cost me £12,000 because I need to pay a lawyer that understands it. That is what the problem is. They did all kinds of analysis and they figured out that that is the problem. So everybody knows what the problem is, but nobody knows why we have the problem. So a secondary data collection happened, and a couple of things were unleashed. One of it was the fact that the people who designed the questionnaire that the people that are being regulated are filling are lawyers. So the questions are being designed in such a way that a layman who is not a lawyer will not be able to fill that form unless they have to go to another lawyer. And that makes the life of their customers what? Complicated. So secondary data collection happened. And they also realized that there are major usability issues with the forms that these people are what? Are filling. So we engaged, we gathered the entire data, we did all the analysis, and the recommendation that was made was to redesign the form. And we kind of took a bit of a feedback to the lawyers to say, can you simplify these terms? Can you add more examples to these and so on and so forth? When the form got redesigned, then we got a couple of users to come and start testing the form. While they are testing it, we started collecting data. And when we started collecting data, the more data we collected, the more we improved the form. The more we understand that, oh, these are the struggles of the customers. And at the end of everything, the first phase ended with customers getting happy with the form we took as a sample form. And from there, we start taking each of the forms that they are sending out to their customers one after the other. And that was how the project, what's it called? Ended. That was how we ended that phase of the project. If you're a business analyst and all you know is just, oh, we interview, you will always be dealing with what the problem is, but you will not be able to understand why the problem is there. So if there is one thing you need to pick from this webinar tonight as a BA, is for you to understand what exactly you need to do to understand the why beyond the what. And if you are a data analyst and you're thinking of how can I introduce business analysis into my daily day-to-day life, there is something called requirement gathering as a data analyst. You might have been doing it, but you may not understand it very well. If somebody comes around to say, we have a sales data and we want you to help us visualize so that we can figure out what exactly is wrong with the sales, and we want to know how well we are performing. See, that stage when they are giving you those things, that's the requirement. Now, for you to be sure of that you know what you're doing, you need to ask them a lot of questions. And that's the process of you kind of troubleshooting things very well, properly, in terms of collecting more data to say, okay, where will I get this data? Okay, you are going to be dealing with the sales team. Okay, who is responsible for that? Who needs this, whatever? Those are the early phase. Those are business analysis practices that is coming into the data analysis side of things for you. And when you are done with your analysis and etc., going back to them and collecting feedback to say, does this meet the requirement you gave to me? Is also an important stage for data analysts. You cannot just build something and say, oh, I made that visualization. It's really beautiful. It's only beautiful to you, but nobody is interested in using it. So as data analyst, you don't want to analyze data and leave it there and it's useless for anybody. So you need to consistently collect data from your end users so that the analysis you are making will be relevant to your audience. I hope that makes sense to someone. So popular tools, to be honest, Excels and other data tools that are out there, Power BI, Tableau, etc., Python, whatever you are able to do. There are so many interaction tracking tools like Oja and so on and so forth that, there is a long list of them. I'm not here to promote anyone for you, just make sure at least you have one in your toolbox to say, I know it and I can use it confidently. Then perhaps can be a very good way for you to kind of do a lot of form design or do all kinds of automation if you know how to use it. But learn how to know how to design forms such that you can design the form, send it out to people, collect that data. Because you will find yourself in organizations where none of these things exist, and you may be the one to build it from scratch. And there are so many other tools out there that I can't remember on the top of my head right now. But that's the reality of our life today as data analyst or business analyst. Is anybody having any question? Feel free to unmute your mic, but please remember we have what's it called? A data analyst training coming at the end of the week. If you're interested, go to exovert.com/training. We are starting the next batch is starting this weekend. After this weekend, before another one can start, that will be probably after 8 or 9 weeks from now. And I don't know. But it's always a small class. We hand old people from beginning to the end up until the point where they get a job or up or to the stage where maybe they are at work and they are dealing with a heavy data set and they need help with dealing with it and so on and so forth. We do help them. We train people. We train companies too. Um, uh, and that's basically it. So, somebody's asking direct question. They said I'm a data analyst myself. Yes, I'm a consultant and I work with Exovert itself. And I serve as business analyst, data analyst, project manager, and so on and so forth. Product manager, even in some cases. So Exovert is an IT consulting company. We get contracts from different companies and we just go there and help them solve the problem. So when we solve the problem, you can see me at your workplace tomorrow, uh, working as a consultant, just the way, Deloitte and all the likes will come and help you fix problem. That's what we do at, at, Exovert. We go to companies, help them solve problem, and we move to the next company. So we are just a group of consultants. And I am not the only one. There are loads of us there, and we will be training you based off the experiences we've gotten from different places. Somebody said YouTube. I don't understand. Can somebody explain? And if you want to unmute your mic, please feel free to unmute your mic to ask questions. I don't know.
Yeah, it's an answer to the previous question when you said you can learn data analytics by yourself. Someone was
Yeah.
asking where.
Oh, where? You say you can learn. Oh, sorry, my bad. You can learn from YouTube. You can learn from Udemy. You can learn. I recommend don't go and pay huge amount of money anywhere to learn, because see, the entire process of learning does not end at the training. You have to do a lot of practice. So, and that's it. So I recommend, if you can do self-learning by yourself, go on YouTube, pick any of the tools or whatever, and watch as much videos as you can. But if you cannot do that and you want something more structured, you can come and join the class. We will package everything we've learned from the industry to you for you in 8 weeks, and you learn the most important stuff that you need to learn and you keep it moving. But that's a paid class. But if you want to do self-learning, yes, you can go on YouTube. I don't know if I'm sorry, I messed the question up. I was just going the other way. Somebody else, any questions? Please unmute your mic or type in the group. Any further question?
Hello, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening. It's not a question per se. It's just to say thank you for, sharing and shedding so much light on how a business analyst can actually use data to improve the services rendered to a business need. I'm really grateful for this. It kind of makes me understand that after I become a business analyst, later on, I can then, improve myself better by adding data to it. And then that makes me like the to-go person in the office for solving problems and all that. So thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. Thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hello.
Hello, yeah.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I want to ask, based on the last point you are sharing,
Yeah.
the demand, I think you break it into four, the finance, the healthcare and others.
Oh,
Is
this
the
one.
class, is the class going to be general? Are you going to take all the sectors, or it depend on the
Okay.
aspects that we really want?
So in general, data is data anywhere you go. Do you understand? Like
Okay.
if you do 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. If you say £2 plus £2 is equal to £4, the answer is still 4. You will learn general data analysis, examples, assignment, and etc. that you are going to get, that you are going to work on, including projects, will be from all kinds of sectors. So that makes you fit for anywhere you go. So what they call domain knowledge is that you can be a business analyst and you've worked in every other sectors before, but you've not worked in healthcare. Or let me put it this way. You trained at uni, just like somebody like me. My background is electrical engineering before I entered into data science. So if I go into the power sector now, I will be more relevant there. Do you understand my point? Than going into healthcare sector because I have an engineering background. Does that make sense? So learning data analysis is one thing. Ability to apply it into whatsoever you are doing in your day-to-day basis is another thing. And that one comes with how much practices you are, how much you've been practicing and how much you're able to kind of deal with stuff. But trust me, you only need a form of confidence. And this is what it looks like. Can you drive an automatic car? If the answer is yes, then if I give you BMW, Toyota, or Mercedes, it doesn't matter. As long as it's an automatic car, you will be able to drive it. I hope that makes sense, ma. All right, thank you. Next question. Any other person? Right. The webinar is an hour long. I think we are at the end of everything. Thank you very much for coming. If anybody is interested in registering, let me put the website in the chat so that you can click on it. exovert.com/training. For those who are interested in doing an old learning. If you are going to learn by yourself, feel free to go on YouTube and learn by yourself. It can be a bit difficult. It can be time consuming, but trust me, you will get the result eventually. Nothing you learn will be wasted. I can tell you that confidently. So can I address work experience that most companies ask for? It's a bit tricky, to be honest, depending on where you are. There are many ways to go about it, to be very honest. I found myself in situations whereby I applied for a job back in those days, and my CV was actually full of projects that I have done by myself. And when I got to the interview, they asked me, I can see you worked on this project. Yes, I worked on it. How did you go about it? And that was it. And yes, in so many other cases, you get rejections because they'll say like, oh, you don't have a real working experience. But all I can say is just keep pushing. There are ways around it. There are ways around it. I will not lie to you. There are ways around it. But yeah, all I can say is, especially for technical roles, if they see you, even if they see you are a BA and you have technical, capacity, in many cases, it becomes, they tend to kind of waive some of this job experience requirements from you because technical role is just like I have a car and you are a mechanic and you've been fixing your own car for many years. And these guys, and you are the only one they found. Trust me, they will give you an offer because of your technical capacity. Just because you said you fixed it and they asked you, okay, if you have the possibility to fix the car gear problem, blah, 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 and you told them how you've been able to solve it 5, 10 times, and you are confident and they can see that you know what you're saying, Because some of the people that will interview you also, they have an idea. They probably just can't do it. They probably just cannot do it. And that's what it looks like when you have technical skills. So job experience counts, but not always, not all the time when it comes to technical roles. And that's why I said, that's why it is very important for you to have data skills. So that's it. Please feel free to ask questions. And yeah, feel free to ask questions. It's a free whatever. Or mute your mic if you want to. How can I enhance my data skills? Practice. If you have data skills, practice. Download random data online, random data set, COVID-19 data, crime data in the UK, what's it called? Accident data, analyze it. You can even write after your analysis, you can even write a blog and publish it out there for the sake for all the discoveries you've made. And that can even be what is going to get you your next job. If you don't, at least that, I mean, there are so many creative ways to go about it. So I will wait until, yeah, go ahead. Somebody unmuted their mic. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this platform and this mid-jump place. I applied recently for a BA role recently.
Yeah.
And I'm still at the beginner level learning Power BI.
Yeah.
And Excel, and just that I'm starting. So, but part of the interview, something was that I was given a data set to clean, to clean, to transform, and I just lost it there because I was like, I'm still learning to get a interview to start. So that's why I'm asking how to enhance it. That's why I asked that question. How can I enhance my data skills?
The one funny side of it is that for most data roles, there is no certification that they will ask. You know, a lot of people believe that, oh, if I have a certificate in so and so, I will be able to do it. No. The only way to become a better data person is to practice. That's the bottom line. Just practice. Play with all kinds of data. There are so many sample data sets online that you can clean. Just go there and download them and clean them. It gets better. And you are not the only I've seen it as a pattern for a long time. Most data analysis role, they will give you raw data set and they will tell you to clean it up. Some of them will give you a data set and they will tell you to share your screen and they will give you 30 minutes to work on it with all kinds of questions on it. So it's a popular thing. It's a matter of practice. So practice. Clean up data, analyze it, and it will be it's just like, you know, it's like driving. If you're driving for the first time and that's it, and you did not drive anymore, the moment you start driving after 1 year, you start making obvious mistakes. But the moment you are driving almost every day, it becomes part and parcel of you. So if anybody gives you a new car to drive, you will sit down conveniently and you will drive it without problems. And that is the exact that's the best, that's the way I will approach it. So don't give up, just keep applying, and and keep practicing. And I can tell you without any fear or doubt that you will get one as long as you are practicing. That's the condition. And you will not and just take the feedback and improve on it. That's the bottom line. I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
You are welcome. I will let us end the session by 8:10. So that's in 1 minute. If you have comments, questions, or whatever it is, please feel free to shoot that in. So it's going. If not, I will do a vote of thanks in the next 1 minute if nobody's speaking. And if you have any question, or if you have any question or whatever that you want to send through, you can send them to hello@exoverts.com. Let me put that there for you. Where is it? There are also And any inquiries, please shoot them to us just in case. I know some people may be shy to type or say anything. So that's it. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you. Thanks for coming. This is actually my first time training on a BA whatever itself. Just in case I may be a bit off tangent, please don't be angry with me. I'm sure by the time we'll do something similar to this that is off data analysis and more BA, next time each would have um we would have improved on the concept. And if we ever put this out again to say how to learn what's it called data business analysis, trust me, the content would have improved and we'll have more examples. I just try to minimize the whole content to make sure that it fits into an hour long session. But trust me, we improve on it day to day. If you have any feedback to give to us, please do so. Let us know if you really enjoy the session. If you think we should improve in any way, shape, or form, please let us know too. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate you and have a wonderful evening. Thank you.